Hello, welcome. Hello, Kangofango, VGR. No, Trainz did not force a database repair, luckily. It was just really laggy for some reason. So I tried a few things first, and none of them worked, and then last thing I tried was restarting, and that did work. Now it's running smoother again. So that's good. One moment. I just need to get quickly. I'm just quickly restarting it because of the shadows. I still have them turned all the way up before. Hold on, that's not muted. There we are. Ah, there it is. Good, good. Ta-da! Here we are. Hello, Phew. Hello. Yes. Yo, what happened? Trainz was laggy. A computer restart. Fix it. No, the Trainz database didn't get repaired. It didn't need to. It was just quite laggy. And so I tried a few things. Tried closing the stuff, clearing the cache, looking in the activity monitors to see if there are any other processes running in the background that shouldn't be, that are taking a lot of computing power. But I couldn't find anything, so I tried logging out. That didn't do anything. Then I tried restarting, and that did fix it. Only it took a little while to start up again. So here we are. Right, so let's just have... So last time we built... Well, we finished the slopes on the left and started working on the slopes on the right. So now let's just quickly see if I'm happy with these grades as they are, these slopes. Over here I'm quite happy with it. That's also good that it's a bit steeper on this bit because I want to emphasize how narrow the valley is here. So having it be steeper helps with that. So then over here, of course, in contrast, it opens up a lot. The only thing I'm not too happy about is how steep this little bit here is. But for that, I really need to add the baseboards on the right, another row of baseboards. That shouldn't be an issue. So I'm just doing that. Okay, that looks better already. Let me just do a little bit back here. Tiny little bit there. Good, good. Okay. That's all good as well. And then it gets a little bit steeper again as we get back here. So let's add those baseboards. So I'm going to need to add them. I don't know if I need another one there or not. Probably not. And if I do, I can just add it later. Although, I suppose I might as well. If I'm going to the trouble of doing this all now anyway, I might as well just add one more baseboard. Actually, sure, let's create a new little area to copy from for the height. And I won't do too much terraforming on this little bit back here, because this is where this line will come in from. And I'll do that when I extend this line. Okay, now that that delicate bit is done, this should go relatively quickly. I remember back when I first started using Trainz, when I played it on a laptop, Windows laptop, it used to lag so much every time I pasted in a section. Like even a section of this size, I used to click and then you'd have to wait like 1, 2, 3, and then it would respond. And that was way back before 5 meter grid size was even a thing. I mean, this was like 2008. And is that everything? I think that is everything. Good. Almost. One more click there. Okay. So now I need to use the plateau tool to smoothen this out a little bit before I can really extend it, because otherwise we'll have steep ridges in it, which I don't want. So I have to smoothen it out first. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That took the terrain height down instead of up. Terrain, indeed. Will there be a quarry somewhere around these parts? No. I think that the gravel pit is quite enough. I did have... I did, at one point, think about having a coal mine on here, just so that you could pick up coal to refuel the little coaling towers along the route. But instead of having an actual coal mine, I think I would prefer just having a coal transfer area in the city, or in the industrial area in the city. Just because I don't really need it as an industry on this map, because, well, for one thing, there is no metal processing facility or anything like that. Like, there's no steel mill, no anything like that. And we also don't have any coal power plants because we've got a hydroelectric power plant. So I think that that would be fine. Plus, it could be fun taking fully loaded coal cars into the mountains instead of always taking them out of the mountains. which is what it does tend to be with, well, with any sort of railroad. Coal tends to get out of the mountains, not into. I know there's a gravel pit and all, but maybe stone quarry for the more easterly track? No, I don't think so. I haven't quite decided on what industries I want to put on that yet, but I don't think that I want a quarry. Good. And I don't want to have this ridge be too much taller, because I actually quite like that aesthetic, yes. Okay, so this needs to be a little shallower like that. So now you come out here, you see that looks a little odd. Hold on, that needs to come out like that, I think. There was just a little bit that was sticking out too much there. Okay, so like that. And that still looks a bit too steep. Hold on. If I take that back to about there, and then instead have the slope continue on a little further back, I think that could look better. Okay, am I happy with that? Almost. It's much more difficult to get shallow slopes in Trainz than it is to get steeper ones. Okay, let's have a look at what it looks like coming around the corner. Or rather the curve or bend. Ah yes, I'm much happier with that. Yes, I am satisfied with that. So now I'll just smoothen off the slope back here a little bit more. Just a little bit. We won't actually need this slope until this line comes up here. So that's when we'll do the proper terraforming on this side. But not for now. Not for now. We'll do it later. That should be fine. Oh, actually, one moment. I remembered something. I quickly need to... One moment. I quickly need to write something down. One moment. Shouldn't take too long. Just need to quickly... a Stichwort, as it's called in German. Which means... like a word that will help you remember something else. One moment, need to quickly look up whether this is the correct thing. Yes, it is. Good. Okay. There we are. Don't worry, I won't forget to switch back over. I said I will not. One moment, I will not. There we are. Okay. So, with that done, is it now time? I was about to say, is it time to texture it? But there's something else that is important, which needs to be done first, which is to test drive it to see whether I'm happy with the grades the way they are. And yes, for convenience sake, I will just use this train with those double stacks, even though double stacks, first of all, don't fit with the locomotive, and they also wouldn't go up here because there is no industry for them, unless, of course, it's beyond the portal, which is absolutely reasonable and could easily be the case. So actually, let's switch over to the multi-output device. Actually, I hope that volume was okay. I don't know why it is playing the sound already. Volume should be fine. Which one was it again? Hold on. No, that's the wrong one. If only the images would load. No, that's a camelback. No, that's the one I just clicked on. Tell you what, I'm just going to go there. Bit of topic, but I'm interested to hear others' opinions on the latest Doctor Who season. Oh yes, if anyone wants to give their opinions of it, please do. Actually, that is a little quiet. Hold on. That's better. Actually, now it's probably even a little bit too loud, because whenever you go into the cab, it changes the... It increases the volume for some strange reason. I think there's a bug in the script, because normally the sound is supposed to be a little bit quieter if you go into the cab. Like if I enter, you can hear, while the animation's playing, it is quieter, but when the animation stops, it gets louder again. Listen to it. Yeah? But yeah, I think there's a bug in that. Honestly, I found it to be the weakest of the lot. I don't know. There were some interesting ideas, but it just... The issues that were present in the previous two seasons, I find, were just amplified in this one. In the Flux thing, with the possible exception of the whole timeless child thing in the first place, which is pretty hard to beat, sadly. Is that still too loud? I think it might still be a little too loud for you. It's fine for me, but... Oh, I changed the wrong thing. That would explain it. I accidentally decreased the render distance instead of the volume. What about it did you find too weak? What about it made it the weakest season to you? Please explain. I feel like it had a lot of potential, but I really feel like they could have done so much more with it. Well, not necessarily more, but just better. Now you've gone to running trains? Yeah. I think that the terrain work on the new branch is pretty much done. Like the actual modeling of the terrain, the basic modeling. So there you go. Unfortunately, the horn sound is very quiet for this loco, but that's a thing that is common with many locos and trains. So, yeah, I want to run down it to see if I'm still happy with it from this point of view. Because going along it slowly with a train can often make things feel quite different to how they feel even in Survey if you fly along it, for example. And just to have a point of reference, I'm starting all the way from North Asia, so that I can get a feeling for what it would be like to drive along here with the landscape around and everything, prior to the new bit. So yes. Yep, they've grown legs and now they're running. Also, I do need to slow down because this is going too fast. I mean, that's quite obvious, because why would I want to slow down if it wasn't going too fast? Yeah, it's supposed to be 25 along here. If I had a longer render distance, I could... Hold on, I might as well do it. It's probably not going to be too laggy. Hold on. I watched it and really can't remember a single episode. That's pretty weak. Well... Oh, do you remember that episode where the Edwardian guy was digging tunnels under Liverpool? And where there were the episode where there were suddenly like 100 weeping angels that were working for the division, whatever that is, which is explained, I know. Oh, and then there was that other episode where the Lupari made a shield that encompassed the entire Earth with 7 billion ships that each were quite small. So, yeah. Oh, and there was other episode where they wanted to save the Lupari was sent to save all the humans, but then the Lupari tried to kill one, even though he said that they're sworn to protect them, and they sent a ship for each human, as if there were exactly 7 billion humans, and they didn't constantly die or were born anew, so as if that number wasn't constantly in flux. Those are some episodes. Well, I'm still working on the electrolyzer. Ah, I thought you were taking a break from it. Many details like the superheaters. Ah, I see. I did turn down the shadow quality a bit, so the terrain doesn't have any shadows at this point. That might be a little too fast for that curve. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I should reduce the speed limit there a little. We'll see. And the thing with Mr. Winder's old subplot, you already said this off stream shoulders, but every time the focus shifted back to them, I was also always like, oh yeah, that plot exists as well. Yeah, it's just so many things get teased. It's like the plot says, oh, look at this guy. Oh, I wonder what he's up to. And this woman is looking for him, and he's looking for her. Oh, I wonder where that's going. And then it just keeps on doing that and keeps on doing that, and then it's over, and you think, like, what? Like, there was nothing there. Anyway, must be able to accelerate fast, but also stop fast. Good. Plus, you've probably seen it, but the brakes shoes are absolutely massive. Yeah, I have seen it. I've seen the photos. The screenshots, I mean. Which are technically not photographs. When you mentioned those plotlines, I vaguely remember them. The only thing that sticks out in my mind was the Wookiee dog character. Yes. You mean, what was his name? Carbonista or something like that. Yeah, just to summarize his plot for you, if people don't mind it being spoiled. If you do, then please just mute, and I will raise my hand like that when it's safe to unmute. So, his plot is, his entire species, of which there are conveniently 7 billion of them, each have a thing where, according to the Shadow Proclamation, which is basically a set of intergalactic laws, are there to protect the humans, whatever the cost, basically. They're there to protect the humans. It's called species recall or something like that, to save the humans from extinction, basically, if there's a threat on that scale. Now, where were they all the other times that the humans almost went extinct in Doctor Who? I have no idea. But they're here now, and they conveniently have a spaceship each. So they have 7 billion spaceships, one spaceship for each human, conveniently. So they send this fleet of 7 billion spaceships so that there is one ship and one Lupar for each human to save them. Why they don't just get a bigger ship and put lots of humans on it, I have no idea. Now, the special thing about these ships is that this big universe-ending thing, which basically looks like the... what's it called? The Nexus from Star Trek Generations. Yeah, just this big space ribbon, cutting through space, basically tearing apart anything that it comes across. These Lupari ships have a special technology on them that allows them to resist the effects of this. Okay. Yeah, it's called the Flux, yes. So, they developed this technology, and it specifically stated that the Lupari developed this technology, put it on their ships. So they go to save the humans. Now, this one guy, this Carbonista, or whatever he's called, and by the way, yes, I am really liking this. Carbonista, or whatever he's called, encountered some sort of anomaly or something and was sent ahead of the fleet. Okay, so he's actually on his way there. We find out that he is a Division agent. Now, the Division are the people who stole all the Doctor's memories from before her first regeneration, according to the Timeless Child thing, which again totally breaks all of canon, but in this season that is accepted to be true, so for the purposes of this discussion I will accept it to be true, which I know it pains me, but I will. So, the Division, yeah, they stole memories, and he's a part of that organization. He's the last operative that the Doctor can find, because she's looking for her memories, for her previous identities before version 1, before the first Doctor. she wants to track him down. Now, she and Yaz manage this, and what does he do? This dog-like alien whose whole species are sworn to protect and save humans? Well, he dangles not only the Doctor, but her human companion Yaz over a planet of boiling acid. In a typically James Bond style. Just look how beautiful this is, where it opens with a meandering river. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Anyway, so yeah, dangles them from the feet on a floating stick, basically, and they, with two robots that are trained to shoot those two in case they manage to escape being dropped into the boiling acid ocean, which of course they do, and the shooting completely misses them. Even though they're stationary, they manage to escape. Okay, so at this point, by the way, we don't know any of his backstory. This is how the character is introduced. He's trying to kill the Doctor and Yaz. That's how the character is introduced. Then, the next time we find him, he's on the Earth, and he's going after this one human, Dan. We don't know why, but he's after him. It looks like he's hunting him. So he breaks into the house, threatens his life, literally says that he's going to enjoy killing him and really torturously killing him, and then he fires at him with this stun cube thing and abducts him. Okay. Doc and Yaz turn up, find that there was an alien abduction here, and find this laptop, and use the laptop to discover, to try to look for wherever this alien ship went. Connect, because this laptop can connect apparently with some sort of satellite network, which they do, and they see, oh, there are 7 billion Lupari ships on their way, the fleet, that's on their way. They have no idea why, they think it's an invasion fleet. And then they realize, oh wait, the human who lived here, Dan, doesn't look like he would be able to afford a fancy laptop like this, which means it isn't his laptop, which means it's a trap. And so they run away out of the house, the laptop explodes, only no, it doesn't explode, it implodes, and the entire slice of that terrace house gets just compressed. They literally say compressed to about maybe 2 or 3, probably like 3 inches tall. The entire house compressed to 3 inches tall, which the Doctor picks up, so it's not actually compressed, because otherwise it would still have the same mass and the same weight. But because the Doctor can pick it up, it of course doesn't. Which means that compressed isn't actually an accurate term for it, but that doesn't matter. Well, it does, but I don't want to get hung up on that. So, just to get this clear, this Cabinista's guy's plan was to save humans by trying to kill one, then threatening to kill another, the one that he's actually supposed to rescue specifically, and then leave a laptop with a human keyboard that he just had on him in case he's followed to try to kill other people who might be on his trail. But why? Because he's already saved his human. All he needs to do now is get out of here. So why would he need to leave a trap? How does he even have that? Does he just have it with him? And why something so specific? And that just doesn't make any sense. And then basically the plotline for all the rest of it is he's a good guy. He's a friend. Yeah, he helps out. He's basically a funny sidekick. And that's the who basically looks like Chewbacca's plot. Except that, of course, later on something. So, yep. And I mean, the biggest plot hole in the entire thing is that during those 6 parts, most of the universe gets destroyed. Like literally, the Doctor sees a 3D holographic map where there are only maybe like 2-3 dozen galaxies out of the billions and billions and billions of galaxies that existed, and it's explicitly said that that is all that remains of the universe. And at the end of the thing, that never gets resolved. It never even gets mentioned. They're on the Earth, and Kate Stewart, Kate Stewart, a recurring character from before, an old character, is basically like, oh, you did it again, Doctor, Earth is saved, and it's all thanks to you, and the Doctor's happy about that, and yes, and things like that, and it's like a happy ending, like Earth is saved, happy day. But the fact that literally almost all, like less than 0.001%, whatever, of the universe is destroyed. Especially since across multiple episodes of that six-part storyline is focused on the devastation that the flux, that space ribbon, causes in the universe. It's literally said that the universe once was a live and vibrant place, but now there's practically nothing but destruction. And one entire plot line is following this woman basically through a post-apocalyptic universe, traveling from planet to planet, finding people who are struggling, survivors, planets that are half torn to shreds, and all of this. And that's never touched on, ever. It's like completely forgotten. Especially, which is really exaggerated by the fact that the Doctor literally had a conversation with time itself after being outside of the universe, between universes. Which means there was every opportunity for that to be undone, for the universe to be rebooted, saved, like 11 did with the whole Pandora's box thing where the TARDIS exploded and the universe had to be rebooted. But no, it's just never touched on. But I'm really happy with this. So that's the biggest plot hole in it. The biggest thing that's just never addressed. But in terms of plot holes, it's just literally every 3 or 5 minutes of watching it, there's a thing. If you are paying attention to what's going on and thinking about it, which if you're watching Doctor Who, you should really be. You are. That is what you expect to be doing. You will notice something that way you go like, wait, why does that make sense? Wait, how does that make sense? Or why is that important? Or wait, that doesn't make sense. So, yeah. I mean, I could go on for a long time about that. Anyway. I'm just going to wait for a little bit in case people are skipping through, so there you are. Right. Man's best friend, the Flux, loving the terrain work too. Thank you. Right. So do they die when their human dies? Is a new one born every time a human is born? Was Yaz Wookiee dog during all of this? Were they just on vacation during the previous incarnations of the Doctor? Yep, so many plot holes. Yeah, the entire thing doesn't make sense if you think about it even a little bit. Eliza, what is this? What kind of Warhammer 40k is this? It is modern Doctor Who, unfortunately. Oops, internet cut out for a minute. Back now, though. Okay, good. So, yeah. So I'm happy with this. So let's start texturing now. Do I want to fill in with grass or forest? I think grass, because a lot of this is going to be open with tree stumps and things like that everywhere, because it's been cut down and then little trees replanted to regrow. So, yeah, I mean, talking about it, let's see. Oh yeah, and the whole thing, yes, green. So also the whole thing, so the Sontaran, oh, basically another big plot hole is that it is now canon. Oh, actually, I need to, hold on, I need to undo that and update all the things to 5 meter grid size, which, of course, if, hold on, I'll just exit and enter. So the, so another big plot hole is that one of the main, okay, again, some spoilers. This time I won't do the hand thing, that's silly. So, one of the main plot lines is that the Sontarans are trying to exploit the carnage and destruction caused by the flux to conquer the universe, or whatever is left of it. Now, you might think, well, that's fine. There's nothing, that could be interesting, that could work. And I grant you, yes, it could. But the way that they're gonna go about it is they have these time ships, these time-traveling ships, where they want to conquer Earth temporarily. It's not their main goal. They want to conquer Earth because they want to use the humans to be able to psychically detect when and where the final destruction of the flux will happen. Or something like that. Why do they want to know this? Because they want to lure their biggest enemies, the Daleks and Cybermen, there, and then use the Lupari's shield, because the Lupari ships can withstand the flux, to then say, okay, Daleks and Cybermen, we've got this shield, let's make an alliance, we'll meet here, and we will protect you with this shield in turn for an alliance. Okay? Their plan is that they then, the Daleks and Cybermen turn up, and then they only and then they'll say, okay, well, actually the Lupari shield's only going to protect us, not you. Bye-bye. And then that the flux will destroy both the Cybermen and Daleks. Now, you might think, wait, but then surely the flux will just go on and destroy the rest of the universe, and then the Sontarans would have nothing left to rule over. Well, luckily, the Sontarans have thought about that, and their plan is to stop the flux. Well, how do you do that? Well, the flux is, as it turns out at the end, antimatter, which of course annihilates with matter, which is how it's destroying everything, only it doesn't line up visually, because the amount of energy that would be released if an entire planet, let alone galaxies worth of matter, were annihilated with antimatter is incomprehensible. But anyway, that's how that works. So, which, by the way, means that the Lupari ships, their special technology, basically just is probably some sort of force field to repel the antimatter in the first place. But anyway, yeah, so, actually, do I want to paint over this now, the river, or do I want to do that later? Because I don't want to lose where it goes. So, okay, that's their plan. But then how do they stop the flux? Well, they're going to use the matter of the combined Dalek and Cybermen armies to annihilate the antimatter in the flux, to then neutralize the flux. That is legitimately their plan. Now, if you know even a little fringe bit about antimatter or sci-fi in general, you will know that matter and antimatter they annihilate each other on a 1-to-1 scale. So you need one particle of matter and one particle of antimatter, and they will annihilate each other. Which means that for the flux to be able to annihilate everything in the universe, there must be enough antimatter as there is matter, well, as much antimatter as there is matter in the universe. So for every little atom of matter, there must be a corresponding atom of matter, of antimatter, sorry. Which means that since those armies are in the universe, the matter that they consist of is part of the matter that would already be accounted for in the antimatter that the flux uses, which means that that literally cannot work. And even if we think, okay, for some reason that amount of matter was not accounted for, even though it doesn't make any sense, then still, how can the armies, they would have to have an equivalent amount of matter as the entire rest of the universe for that to work. Also, if the Lupari have... Actually, I won't paint on the river yet. I will, just so I know, I can better imagine where it goes. If the Lupari have managed to develop a technology that can hold back the amount of antimatter the flux is made of, which they have in the series, the big plot point, then why haven't the Daleks or the Cybermen? Because the Daleks are basically just one power level lower than the Time Lords themselves. If the Lupari managed that, it would mean that the Lupari are on par with at least Time Lord technology, which they are clearly not. And while I was saying that, I thought of about 20 other plot holes, but we'll see if we get to those. I'll read chat first. And they also just forgot about the entire Master Timeless Child plotline and that other supposed doctor that showed up. Yeah, that was never... Well, the Timeless Child thing was mentioned briefly in that the woman who supposedly found the doctor as a child showed up. She, as it turns out, she's the head of the division, whatever, yeah. And actually something that's really very funny is that, actually, where is this supposed to go? Oh, this is supposed to go this way, is it? Yes. One that I think is quite funny is that that woman... Okay, so the doctor asks her, is what the master showed me true? And then she basically says to the camera, yes, it's true. I just had to laugh at that point because it's so obvious that after the end of the last season, there was such backlash or people thinking, okay, well, the only way for any of this to not break all of canon is if the Master was just somehow lying to the Doctor and trick the Matrix. So, of course, they had to go in and have a character say, no, it's true. No, this actually happened, yes. And that was just hilarious. But yeah, other than that, and the Doctor being on the... Other than that and the Doctor being on the search for her memories, which, by the way, she finds, and then at the end, so she's been after these memories for a long time now, and she's done so much to get them. I mean, that was the reason why she was after Covenista in the first place. She's got them literally in her hand in a fob watch, and then decides not to retrieve them. She decides, no, she doesn't want them. And so she drops them into a shaft in the TARDIS and says, hide it somewhere where I'll never find it. Until I really want to find it. Except if I really want to find it, or something like that. which basically negates the whole thing. So she's telling the TARDIS, okay, hide this somewhere where I'll never find it unless I really want to find it. Like, do you think that there would be a time where she's where she'd be thinking, you know those memories? Yeah, actually I would like to have a look at them. Actually, where are they, TARDIS? Oh, you're not going to tell me. Okay. No. If she has that much self-control. If she would want them after all, then she would really want them, and there would be no point in hiding them. Anyway. Yeah, and the master thing, the master timeless child thing is not continued at all. Yes, the master might appear in the specials, but I don't know. I have no idea. I have not seen the specials. The master definitely didn't appear in the last season of Trudy Whittaker's run. So basically, for every bathtub of matter, there has to be a bathtub of antimatter. Just think of all those bathtubs. Ha ha ha. Yes. Which actually, that is a real-life mystery, because as far as we know, as far as we understand, actually I won't detail that yet, I'll paint in the grass variation textures. As far as we understand, when the Big Bang created matter, everything, as far as we understand from things like, what are they called? Virtual particles, which just pop into and out of existence. For every bit of matter that is created, an equal bit of antimatter has to be created, because you can't just create something from nothing. Which means when the universe was created, an equal amount of antimatter should have also been created, but that is not the case, because if that amount of antimatter had been created, it would have immediately cancelled out with the matter and destroyed everything. But it didn't. So where is that antimatter? One theory is that it just that it maybe it might be in a parallel universe or something, so that there is a parallel universe where the universe exists but is mostly made of antimatter instead of matter, just as ours is mostly made of matter instead of antimatter. Antimatter instead of matter, matter instead of antimatter, yes. So that is a real life mystery. But yes, there theoretically should be a bathtub of antimatter for every bathtub of matter. So, oh, VGR. Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by. See you tomorrow for Star Trek Pathos, where we'll finally get some answers. Right, so, yes. One of the actual definitions of flux fits the entire season pretty well. That's actually true. That is actually true. Definition of flux, entry 1 of 2. A flowing of fluid from the body, such as a diarrhea, dysentery. Yeah, that is actually true. For most of it, yeah, unfortunately. Of course, another definition of flux is the silts and quartz and things that is used in the glass making process. But I don't think that is appropriate at this point. Hello, Alzinor. Hello, welcome. Welcome. You join us at a Doctor Who's time. Ark. Yeah, I'm just talking about the latest season of Doctor Who. She was the head of Gallifrey in Section 31. Yes, basically. And then there are these other two skeleton guys. Basically, they just look like skeletons, only with sparkly skin strapped over them. It's really weird. Not that weird monster design, well, creature designs are strange for Doctor Who, but anyway. And they were prisoners ever since the universe was created, apparently. And actually, that's a good point. A thing that I haven't even thought about so far. In the first episode of that six-parter, of the Flux six-parter, so one of those skeleton people was in that prison, yeah? And the prison guards went there to check up on him, and they said, yeah, even after all these thousands of years and things like blah, blah, blah. And he breaks out, and okay, he's broken out. And then the other one, if you remember, the lady one, do you remember how she came into the story? Well, I had forgotten as well, but she actually comes into the story this way. So, on Earth, there is a house somewhere in the Arctic, I believe. A house somewhere in the Arctic on a sheet of ice. And a married couple live there, a man and a woman. And they seem to be just having a normal life until something in the garage beeps and warns them of something. Okay. He says, what do we do? And then she takes a crowbar or something and just smashes it to pieces. And says, we didn't get the warning. Obviously very concerned about something. Okay. So this is right after that guy escaped from prison. So obviously these people, these human-looking people, who for some reason live out in the ice, had a device to warn them in case this skeleton guy ever escaped from prison. Okay. But they choose to ignore the warning. Okay. See? Teasing you. Okay, oh, there's plot here. Yeah, all will become clear. Teasing you. Then, during the night, they are awakened by the skeleton guy standing right there beside their bed as they're sleeping. Very creepily, yes. Okay. Now, the guy, in the married couple, the guy turns on the light, is scared, and literally dissolves. Disintegrates. Just disintegrates, and she's crying, she stands up and she's shouting, what, why? And then he says, why what? And she says, why am I feeling this way? And then she transforms. Actually, it's more like the disintegration thing. Like she's shedding a disguise, and it turns out she was a female version of that skeleton guy. She's basically a female, sparkly skeleton lady. And she then starts to laugh maniacally. Clearly the two are associates. Let's just put it that way. Okay, and then they go off into the plot and do stuff in the plot. Now, the reason why I've explained all of this is none of that ever gets touched on again. Why was the guy imprisoned? Who knows? Why was she disguised as a human? Who knows? Why did she live with this guy on a sheet of ice somewhere? Who knows? Why did they have a warning? Who knows? Why did they ignore the warning? Who knows? Why was she not imprisoned when he was? Who knows? Literally, it's like they started writing a book. They got they said, okay, we've got to pitch this thing, so we'll just start this plot line. Okay, and this is going to go that way, and just set up. Yeah, it's fine. We'll think of solutions later. And then they say, ooh, look at that shiny thing, and continue with that thing. Completely forgot about the other thing. And there are so many instances of that in this season specifically. Now, the actual ideas behind the story could work. Some of them I actually really quite like. But it's just put together in such an awful way. Yeah. Like, for example, but then again, some of this isn't. I was about to say, for example, the thing about the universe slowly disappearing, that is such a powerful idea, creates such powerful imagery, that I was about to say you could make such a great Doctor Who story with that. But then I remember that actually no, they already did that, where with what was it? Yeah, with David Tennant, where all the stars started just vanishing, just one after the other just vanished. I think it was David Tennant. Or was it Matt Smith? I don't know. I think... I don't know. But anyway, I don't know which one it belonged to, but anyway, there's this moment where they were just standing there looking up, and they just said, oh, the stars are vanishing. And that was so much better. And then, anyway, I don't want to get too caught up in that. Added a turbine air pump to the electrolyzer. Yes, nice. In the very last Julie Whittaker special, they showed of the master himself admit that it was a lie after all to the camera. I don't know. I think at this point, if they wanted to rectify the issues, I mean, to a point, you can come up, if you're clever, you can come up with explanations for things that retroactively make things make more sense. So you can say, well, that thing that didn't make sense, well, actually, this is why this was this way, and that's why it didn't make sense, and actually it does make sense this way. Okay. But then there comes a point where it's just pathetic if you try that, where the only thing you can do is basically admit, yeah, that all doesn't make sense, and it was all a dream. Yeah, I know it's not ideal, but let's just put it behind us and continue forward. It was all a dream, that's that. Which, yeah, isn't ideal, which you normally want to avoid that. But at some point, it's really just the best thing you can do, because you can't really save it at that point. Which is pretty much a turbine powered by a steam motor spinning 3 pistons, making pressure. Nice. Right, many thanks for joining. See you tomorrow. That would have been the Big Bang, the Big Unbang. It created the anti-universe. That's a good one. Sounds very nice. Bye, VGR. One last thing. Are we gonna interrogate this Catherine? Oh, you mean on Pathos? Well, you've got to find her first. If you find her, then probably. Black holes connect the two. Matter flows in on one side and antimatter flows in the other. They meet in the middle and form pure energy. That is an interesting theory. We're gonna get that info out of her one way or another. Yes, and maybe that shifted the focus with our timeline. Is in an alternate anti-timeline running parallel to ours. Yes, I have been lurking for a bit. Hello. You are building a railroad, and I'm painting race cars for iRacing. Haha. Well, glad you're having fun as well. It's good to hear from you again. Right. Yep, Arctic. Hell, he keeps going about Doctor Who. Anyways, peace. Fade out. Yeah, when someone gets me started about it, I do tend to go on for quite a while. I can't blame you for leaving. Yes, exactly. Alright, bye now. See you tomorrow. If we find her again, maybe. Time to move on to another topic. This last season of Doctor Who is getting depressing. It was a poor rehash of the Pandorica storyline. It was Pandorica, yes. Sure is. They did a Tom Baker episode where the Master was killing the mathematicians. That mathed the universe into being, which was making the stars disappear. Oh, now that sounds properly Doctor Who, but I've not seen much of the classic Doctor Who's. I've seen a considerable part of the first, but since I want to start the classic Doctor Who chronologically, I have to start with the beginning, and the beginning is very, very expensive, and I just do not have the money for that. So, yes. But that sounds very interesting. They should have Peter Capaldi in the next special and have him wake up, find out it was all a dream, and then he regenerates. Peter Capaldi. That is not the first time that I've heard that suggested. Yeah. There's one more thing that I want to say about one thing that I noticed when I was watching the Flux storyline is, and the final thing, amidst plenty more plot holes, which I won't go into, the Doctor is on this division station between universes, and she's currently in a bit of a situation, in 3 places in time, space-time at the same time. But she's clearly able to think clearly and speak coherently and has the power and will and strength to do all this stuff. Okay. So, the bad guys are there, and the skeleton guys, skeleton guy and woman. And they have her cornered on the floor, and she comes over and says something like, you love life so much, creation, building, civilization. Why is all of that better than our goal, destruction, death? Like literally just start asking a fair question, a philosophical question to the Doctor. Now, the Doctor, a character whose arguably most defining trait is their cleverness and their love of speeches, giving speeches. All that this character is written to say in response is because it is. I mean, on the fly, right now, I could come up with a better answer. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Okay, so, imagine that. Okay, she comes over, asks, why are you so convinced that, why do you love life so much? Why is life and creation better than destruction and death? If we now want to keep it a simple answer, not an entire speech, just a simple response, how about just saying, because life is hard, destruction is easy, and nothing that's easy is worth anything. That's just off the top of my head, a thing that potentially sounds wise, that I've just improv'd right there. If you imagine Peter Capaldi saying that, but anyway. As opposed to what they gave Jodie Whittaker, namely, basically, because it is. Yeah, it's just better. Anyway. Another thing about her, she seems to spend most of her run trying to remember who she was, and not enough time actually being the Doctor. Exactly. Exactly right. The way that she's written, when you watch any of the, actually, do I want that little cliff section there? Sure, why not? If you watch any of the reboot Doctors, like Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, they bring across, both in their performance and the scripts that were written for them, in most cases, the sheer age and experience of this character. Just for context, if you don't know much about Doctor Who, well, first of all, congratulations for still listening to this. And secondly, the Doctor is a character who can travel pretty much anywhere in space and time, and has been doing so for over 1,000 years. This is a character who has fought with gods and demons, and who has witnessed the creation of universes and the destruction of them. A character who has crossed over into his own timeline more times than you can count. A character who has literally saved all of existence and literally rebooted the entire universe. A character who, at the end of the last regeneration, at the end of the last season before Jodie Whittaker's run, was so tired of living because he had lived for such a long time. He thought that he had lived long enough and didn't want to regenerate anymore. It was only due to a Christmas special that he decided one more regeneration, one more lifetime. And that is the base on which Jodie Whittaker's run starts. And across Jodie Whittaker's run, there are a total of no more than, I would guess, maybe like 5 moments, less than that. Across those 3 seasons, basically enough that I can count them on one hand, moments where it's even hinted at her having all those experiences. Yes, she often knows what's going on. She'll often recognize, like, oh yeah, that's a thing I know. I know what that, yeah, sure, oh, it's this thing, I haven't seen this thing for ages, or things like that. But there's no wisdom behind it, which is just sad. Anyway, to actually being the Doctor, having an identity crisis all the way through. Yes, the others only spent an episode or 2 figuring out who they were. That is true. But then again, the others are basically cardboard, so they don't really need that much time to figure out who they are. Also, why was Dan a new character? Because to me it feels like Dan is written just like Ryan was written, only that the whole thing with the girlfriend would make so much more sense. We would be so much more invested in it if it was Ryan. Because if you remember Ryan... Yeah, if you... that's just the sentence. If you remember Ryan. Actually, where do I want rock? Do I want more rock on some of these bits? Because I do have quite a lot of rock up there, which... I'll do the forest next. Yeah, anyway. So... if you remember Ryan... His whole thing at the end of the last season was, okay, Doctor, it's been great traveling with you, but I've had enough, because I just don't have any time to spend with my friends that I've had for a long time, and I feel like I'm abandoning them by going off traveling with you. My life will pass, years will pass, while for them only days. And I want to live my life with them. What friends, you might ask? Oh, the ones that he was shown playing basketball with a couple of times. Yes, those friends. So, he goes off, and what is the first thing that he does? He goes traveling with Graham, seeing the world. pretty much the exact opposite of the reason why he left. Because if he wants to go traveling, no, don't stick with the doctor. I mean, you'd never see anything with traveling with the doctor. No, instead go traveling with your adopted your adopted grandfather? Grandfather. Yes. So, yeah. So if with that in mind, this new character Ryan who's introduced, who's basically written the exact same way that Ryan was written, he basically has no personality except, okay, he's very kind to the point of not even getting a can of soup for himself from the food bank when he himself literally is poor to the point of starving. Okay. Oh, and he has a girlfriend, well, sort of girlfriend. He doesn't really have a girlfriend, but he might have a girlfriend. And that's pretty much it. So the way that continues is, in the first episode, oh yeah, he had this girlfriend, she gets abducted by the passenger form, which I won't get into. And then we literally forget about her until the last episode of the 6-parter, where she gets rescued, and then he asks, oh, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to have a date, maybe? After he's rescued her, and then she says, no, I don't want to. Sorry. Even though previously she said she wanted to, but it was just he was late because, well, he was abducted by aliens. That's why he was late. But she doesn't want to, and so then he goes with traveling with the doctor anyway. Now, wouldn't it make so much more sense if instead of that, it was Ryan who maybe a couple years later of living with his friends, and he's a bit socially awkward, maybe he's trying to get a girlfriend for the first time or something like that, and she's just about there, and then he gets abducted by he gets abducted by aliens, and she gets abducted by aliens as well, different aliens. And then we have all those adventures, and this is Ryan trying to have a normal life. And then after all of that, they rescue her, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. And then he goes traveling with a doctor again. Wouldn't that be so much more interesting? Like, he tried leaving the doctor for a normal life, and it just doesn't work. You can't do that. And that could be the message of that story arc, which would give so much more meaning to the character of Ryan as a whole as well. But of course, that wasn't what they did. He was just there to explain the Wookiee dog. That is a good point. Ryan left because he finally learned how to ride his bike. True. Yep. Location TARDIS, side room. The doctor is laying on a bed. The camera zooms in while sleeping. The doctor starts muttering. The doctor, no, the flux. I saved the Earth. I saved the galaxy. Why is the flux here again? Did I forget something? I must have forgotten something, but what? Dan! Where's Dan? The Lupari! Claire! Oh! Yes, Claire was the name of the woman. Not the girlfriend, I think, but the other woman. An arm is seen waking up the doctor. She opens her eyes. Ryan, Yes, and Graham are standing around her. Yaz and Graham are standing around her. Yaz, Doctor, wake up! Oh, is she awake now? But that couldn't have been a dream. It just couldn't. I've had dreams before. That wasn't a dream. Doctor stands up and walks to the console with the TARDIS. Within the TARDIS, Doctor. Oh, hello? Oh, hello. There's subspatial communication coming through. Right, let's hear it then. I see. That is an alright interpretation of how, well, rough draft of how such a dream sequence could be described. Well, the aftermath of it, basically. Yes. I do want this forest coming in a little bit closer over here as well. Something like that. Yeah, that actually looks quite nice. It's good having a little bit of a longer end distance with this as well. Being able to see more of what I'm doing, of course, helps. This is Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Please identify yourself. Now that would be an interesting crossover. Just please, please, please don't let Kurtzman or Chris Chibnall anywhere near it. Just please. Or J.J. Abrams for that matter. Okay, so this bit... I think I want the forest to come all the way down to the tracks for this bit. Okay, so we have... Actually, let me increase the render distance a little bit more. Well, you did say subspace communication. That's a good point. You did say subspace. Okay, so this is going along here. That's all good, that's all good, that's all good. Do I... No, I was thinking maybe having a little bit of forest on that bit, but I don't really want to... Actually, if I do have a little bit, then I might as well have a little bit of forest coming over like that, going down to the river this way. So like this, basically. So you've got that line kind of coming down that way. So you're going through the forest like that, can't really see much, can't really see much, can't really see much, but it's okay, because... Hold on, just spit out all the leaves. Come out like this, and then you've got that view. Now that is an amazing view. Okay, then you come along here. The forest should really still go all the way down to the tracks. I will replace this with the denser woods, by the way, once we're at that point, the denser forest. Okay, so that goes all the way to there-ish. Then here, should this be a little bit more open? I think maybe up to there, and then it goes a little bit more open on the side as well. So it comes down to here, it opens up on the right. We've got forestry going on both sides. Comes down, this maybe a little bit too steep on that a little bit, so we can have a little bit of forest there, a little patch of forest where they haven't cut down and replanted the trees. Like that. Carries on. This needs to be a bit steeper. So that, well, that is a bit steeper, so that needs more woods like that. And all that on the top needs them as well. I need to save. If you had said hyperspace, then it could have been the Millennium Falcon instead. Good point. And what if he had said wibbly wobbly space? Dun dun dun. Well, no, then it would have just been the master again, probably. The doctor flicks the switch on the console, and there's only a white noise. Graham. What's wrong with it now? Hold on. Doctor, is everything alright? Who's this Dan? You've never told us about anything about a Dan. The doctor seems completely fixated on the white noise, seemingly completely oblivious to what Ryan just said. In a huge gust of wind, the TARDIS doors fling open, and a man in a black cape enters, covering the head and face. Oh, it is Darth Vader! Ah, what he's doing on the Millennium Falcon, I have no idea. This bit's always so much fun, just pasting forest everywhere. Okay. Is that all? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's have a look. Or a butcher's, however you want to say. So, okay, come along here. That looks great, that looks great. Of course, I need to put the forest texture underneath the trees, but I'll probably do that next time round. This bit can use a little bit more forest, but I'll paste over the more dense forest there. Opens up. This could use more trees down there as well. Probably, although maybe not. I'll think about it. Comes along this way. Yeah, see this wide open space? That's what I want. Comes along that way. Trees, trees, trees. Yes, yes. So like that. Along here, you've got that view as it then kind of hugs the tree line. The trees down there need to be a little bit closer to the river. In fact, what I might just do is, well, maybe not here, but over here, just paste it on top of the river, just so that I can then delete the ones that I don't need anymore. Okay, along here, and then going into the forest, trees, 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 yes, 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 trees, more trees, more trees, so many trees. Come out here, some sort of landscape back there, no idea yet, and you've got the actual industry. We can load stuff there. Going the other way, got this lovely view of the valley, carries along there. See, it doesn't seem that long now, does it? Through the trees, coming out to that view, and that's just amazing as well. But do I like having those trees there in the way? I think that might actually be detrimental. Hold on. I'll just quickly remove some of these trees here like that, because you can actually see the river down there. Well, you can see it-ish. If you're in the outside camera, you can see it like that. And that is much nicer, much nicer. Okay. Carry along there. Hugging the tree line. Good, good. Come out here. Go along this way. Through the trees, then round here, back there. Okay. Just one more quick look, because I deleted some of the trees there. What does it look like now if you're approaching like that? It could use a little bit more. Maybe on this side, maybe if it came out like that instead. Yeah, that looks better. I just quickly need to check from this side. Yeah, that still works. That still works. Good. Right, so... Oh, we've gone past 10. So I'll get a thumbnail, which if I increase the render distance might be here. Ooh, maybe like that. That could look great. Let's take a screenshot. Let's see how that looks on the small. It's a bit gray. I need to change the time of day. One moment. Ooh, now that looks nice. But you can't really see much of the trees on that small image. Maybe more like that with the shadows? I don't know, that actually looks quite nice. So I'm going to reset the time of day to about there. And then let's just place a few trees of safety. And I will consider where the roads go afterwards. Oh, although, I did want to do one thing, which is, hold on, I wanted it on this side somewhere. Is that a good place for it? One moment. I wanted to place a thing want to place a thing over here, and I'm actually going to create a little bit of a plateau. One moment. I want to place a thing, like I said before. A little plateau. Instead I will have to kind of make this a little smoother as well. Just so that it's not as big of a danger. Okay, something like that. One moment. This should be good. And that over there, like this. And then I'll need a dirt road. One moment. I know I keep saying one moment, but I do actually mean it roughly. Let's see, maybe the one back here that I used for the houses back here, that could work. Yeah, I'll use this one. Where did I place it? Where did I have this area? Up here, good. So I'll have an area, well, the road going like that, and then I want it connecting down to there. Like that sort of, then like that. That'll be good enough. Well, ish, good enough-ish. One moment. There you are. Let's move some of these trees over a little bit. And let's paint a little bit of the cliff texture along there and a little bit back here as well. Just a little bit. Let's leave a few of these trees. Now no, not that. One moment. What is it called? One moment. Again, looking through the list. We can have like a little workshop or something over here. I'll need a little bit of the old dirt texture. Hold on, that didn't grab. Why did that not grab? Should have grabbed. Grab, yes, good. Yes, I will add a curve. I will add a curve. One moment. Actually, I might as well do this now. Okay, I'll have to... Actually, I'll lower it a little bit more manually. Sort of like that. I think I might move the tree there. Okay. Actually, that should go in probably at more of an angle like that. That's much nicer. Just a little bit of... actually, right, this is a 10-meter grid size, but that's fine. A little bit of an area there. I'll get a little bit of grass texture. Just a little bit along here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. I want... not that. I want like a small... I want a small antenna. I'll move that into the ground, just sort of like that. Which actually... I might be able to put this on top of the house a little bit. I want like a radio antenna, something. I know that this... No, that's too big. That is too big. I'll leave that in the background there, just in case. Just in case I can't find a better asset. That looks a little too modern. One moment. No, I can't see any other messages there. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Anyway, actually, maybe if I move that in like that, then rotate it. Nope, not that. I'll put that on the temp block layer. Just... Actually, I might be able to fit it onto the... Actually, no, that wouldn't work because of the solar panel. Hold on. Yeah, that wouldn't work either. I kind of have to have it there, unfortunately. Okay, so just putting that in there, just an antenna for receiving signals. I know it's not the best place for it, but I can't fit it up there because otherwise it would poke through. The flux is insignificant next to the power of the force. Wheeze wheeze. Now, where are the droids that we are looking for? Yes. Feel free to go longer. I am actually a little bit. Add a little bit of a curve to the road that isn't arrow straight. Maybe curve to the other end of the road so that it ends between the buildings. Oh, that's a nice idea. That is a nice idea. But why can't I? Oh, that makes... Yes. Okay. Oops. Actually, yeah, that's all CCTV. I'll have a quick look in the download station. Maybe that. Ah, yes, there are rooftop antennae. Ah, yes. What does this one look like? Is that one okay? A little flimsy. I might want a little bit of a... what's one that is... well, actually, those all kind of look like that. Ah, this one. Oh, it's antenna like that. Oh, I see. Ah, that's a bit too big. No. If I just search for antenna, like that. Actually, that is all still really large. Although, I suppose maybe that could work. I don't know. Let's just use the small one. Just use the small one. Put that up by chimney. Just sort of like that. There we are. Okay. Now I want a pickup truck. Not too close. Why not? Because of the soot? Or because the heat might damage it? In that case, I'm going to put it over here. There we are. Just have this kind of at the end of the road like that. Like that, okay. Well, it's not centered, one moment. Although that looks a little silly, it looks like a trail that is left. No, I'll leave it... Actually, I'll have it turned around like that. Okay, that looks reasonable. Actually, we need some firewood. Of course. And I'll read chat. Dr. Ryan Diaz and Graham shield their eyes at the sudden drastic change of lighting. The TARDIS door slams shut again. The Doctor... Right. I can see your face. I can't see your face yet, but you seem really familiar. Come on. Off with the hood. As you wish, Doctor. The figure decloaks itself and expression on the Doctor's face drops. Doctor... Master, so it is you. Oh, Doctor, it is so amusing. What is? You believing all that about the flux and everything. And Dan, he might have looked different, and he might have acted a little different, but didn't you realize? It was just Ryan. In your big dream, your mind had just manifested a character pretty much completely copying someone you knew. No, you're wrong. Yes, you remember Dan, right? The Liverpool lad. Yes, looks worried and confused. Yes, I don't know who you met, Doctor, but I never knew any Dan. I'm sorry. Right, not too close, any pretty flimsy, and could be damaged by the heat. And an outhouse, of course. Wait, is this the one that's animated? Yeah. Okay. Now the outhouse... Let's just put the outhouse right there. No, let's not put it there. No, let's put the outhouse behind the house. Let's put it there. Well, maybe not that close. Maybe have it like there, like that. Although that door kind of means that it has to be facing this way. There we are. Oh, and there's a... Actually, I can't use that. That's fine. Well, although maybe, hold on. I want to add a little... That might be a little too big of a path. Hold on. I wanted to add a little path. Just because of how frequently it's used, but I don't think that that works really. It just, although maybe a gravel path, just so, because at night you don't, or it's rained or something like that. I suppose that could work. Just like that. Are you happy with that? Yes? Or do you want me to add anything else? I mean, you would have a gravel path over. Actually, I will lower this little point a little bit. Bushes! I don't want to put too much detail back here. Looks good. Okay, yeah, I don't want to add too much detail back here. So... Right, I'll just quickly save again. Oh, we've got almost in half an hour over time. Okay, so... I'm glad that you think that it looks good, because this is your place. Remember last time you said that you'd love a lodge or something up here overlooking the lake with that view? Well, here it is, complete with outhouse and everything. Let me just give you kind of the view that you'd have. Hold on, I might just change the field of view slightly so that you can fit more of it onto the screen. There we are. And you can just see the trains going by on the other side of the shore of the lake. No, we both met him. I can't have imagined all that. Doctor, I'm sorry. And all along, you were just lying in your TARDIS, thinking up the whole thing in your mind. Goodness, if that's your idea of a dream, I'd hate to see one of your nightmares. You were gone for ages, Doctor. About 2 years now, give or take. One day, me and Grandad saw the... Hold on. One day, me and Grandad saw the TARDIS appearing in the woods. Yes, and then they called me to see what was going on. I was really hoping for indoor plumbing, getting too old to wander around in the dark. Well, you were the one who suggested it. Maybe you can get the engineer over to No, actually no, you do have indoor plumbing. Look, the actual indoor plumbing toilet is in this little built-on bit there. Yeah, that's where the indoor plumbing is. This is just for guests. Anyway. Yeah, I wanted to do... Actually, let me name it. There we go. That is correct. Get Zveru over to fix one. Haha. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, I'm glad that I didn't forget about it. So actually, one more thing. I'll quickly switch back. You can actually see it from over here. If you're... Hold on. over here, magnify. You can just about spot it there. Right. Willis Hunting Lodge. Nah, I've just named it Willis. I want to name it after your Twitch name. So Willis 1961's. I just named it Willis 1961's place. Okay, so let's quit out of this. And quit out of that, and that, and this, and that, and that, and this. One moment. One tiny little moment. Let's see, we'll write one thing down. One moment. Oh, okay, and that's that. So, one moment. I know I should do this afterwards. I just need to quickly write a thing down. Otherwise, I'll forget about it. So, thank you all very much for watching. This stream will be archived, and hopefully see you tomorrow for Star Trek Pathos, where we'll finally get some more answers about the Viuni and stuff that was stolen, and other things as well. For some reason, the door wasn't locked. We stepped inside and all the lights were out. We saw you were laying on the floor. You were sleeping quite unsoundly. We got you into bed, and after about 2 hours, we woke you. We figured it'd be for the best, given the nightmares you were having. Yeah. Indeed. It was not a nightmare, although it definitely seemed frightening. Yes, the doctor would definitely say, although it definitely seemed frightening. That's definitely the wording the doctor would use. Anyway, bye-bye.